with, I believe, who we all think is going to be the starter night or day one, I guess you could say, going to be nighttime. All eyes on Chapel Hill. Troy, before I say it, we're all in agreement this next quarterback's going to be the starter. Is that right?
I'm thinking so, man.
Yeah.
I told Trevor, barring any unforeseen circumstances, unless somebody just goes out there and just balls out.
Yeah.
I think he's got it. I think Seven's the guy.
So this guy just dropped the number. Number 7, Gio Lopez, South Alabama. This is a kid, the mid-3 star. I mean, his offer sheet coming out of high school, Charlotte, which is funny because he's probably going to go up to Charlotte and be the starter. Fordham, Jacksonville State, Northern Iowa, Troy, UAB, UT Martin. Now he finds himself at the University of North Carolina. He put on a hell of a show. His redshirt freshman year at South Alabama, which is why he finds himself now at UNC. Hit the portal, was a pretty high 3. I think it was an 87 according to 247 Sports transfer. He had some top schools after him too in the portal, some SEC schools. But I think it all came down to he wanted a place that he could be developed, be around good coaches, and potentially the true word and shake of the hand with the opportunity to win the job. And we all believe that Gio Lopez is going to be the starter when we roll out against TCU. Trevor or Troy, either one of you, let's dive into Gio Lopez and what Tar Heel fans can expect from him.
Trev, you got it, buddy.
Baller. I mean, this kid, he wasn't highly ranked. You said it, but he's played some. I mean, he wasn't playing the toughest competition, but he's played some good teams in the Sun Belt. Troy, you're App State Mountaineers. We know that's your second team down there. So he did this, boys. He didn't have much around him. I mean, they had some pieces there. We got one of their linemen here in Chapel Hill now, but he had a good, solid running back and a solid receiver. But he won some games and put up some numbers. I believe last year, I think he only played in 11 games, and he had, I think it was like 18 passing touchdowns, 5 picks, 2,800 passing yards, like 500 rushing yards. So I think this is a kid that we got him just in time, because I really believe that Tennessee was probably about to try to, especially when they had the Nico drama going on, and we got him just in time, I believe, because everything I've read about is this kid's a big time football player. He did one thing I'll say is just playing 11 games. He had a concussion last year. He had some turf toe, that's something that can linger. So hopefully that's all taken care of. But I mean, he's a guy that should be QB1, and he brings a lot. He can run, he can throw it. It's going to be fun to watch, and I think he's going to have the best team around him than he's ever had in his career. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I piggyback off you, Trevor. I mean, I touched on it with the other guys, and Newkirk and Bryce, but you roll the highlight tape. I mean, dude's got it. I think in watching his tape, I think he's I think he's a good passer. I think he could, in the pocket, he's a dual threat. I mean, this guy ran for 465 yards last year and 7 touchdowns, 83 carries. He averaged 5.5 yards per carry. Be interesting to see how the staff kind of takes him and molds him into, more to be more cool, calm, and collected in the pocket. Or how they shape the offense around having a dual threat quarterback. He threw for, almost 2,600 yards, 18 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions last year. I think he was top 30 in QBR at 72, which is, pretty daggone good. He torched my App State Mountaineers in Boone. So, but with Gio, man, shout out to, Lombardi and, and the staff for, finding this guy. And I'll be honest with you, outside the App State game, I didn't really watch much of him. But going back, looking at his tape, dude's, athletic. He runs with the ball. He's not scared of contact. He will run your ass over if he gets a chance to. And a guy that, can make plays out of the pocket, whether it's, taking off for 30 yards, moving the chains, breaking a long one off, at, a 50-yard touchdown run, or he's dropping back to pass and he's rolling out and he, hits a deep crossing route or a deep post or, whatever. I think the guy can do it all. And really, really excited. I think he's QB1 week 1 against TCU under the lights. What better way to welcome you to, big time football? Not saying they don't play big time football in the Sun Belt, because we seen what happened last year in our own stadium. I hate to say that, fellas, but they play some ball down there in the Sun Belt. Troy's a good team. App State's had a good team. They've had some coaching struggles, but
were y'all at that game?
No,
I was.
I actually sold my ticket. I didn't even sell my tickets. I gave them away to my buddy Mike, because my sister-in-law was getting married that day, and I was in the wedding. So I'm sitting there like eating Zaxby's, watching JMU kick our tail in Keenan Stadium. I'm like, I text my buddy Mike, did y'all leave at halftime or what? But now Gio, man, I think Gio's going to shape up real nice for us. Definitely a good grade for me for a portal edition for sure.
Yeah, I mean, portal, what was it, Trevor? I think you wrote in our notes today, offers in the portal. Was this his offers in the portal? Miami, Michigan State, Kentucky?
I think they were teams that had showed him interest. I don't know if he actually had offers because he technically, right when he went in the portal, it was right to us. But I believe that was some teams that had shown interest, like Miami before they got Carson Beck and some of those other big schools. But one thing I left out, man, he went on the road. They played at LSU last year, and he went on the road, and he was 17 for 23 passing with 105 QBR on the road at LSU.
What did he do rushing? Didn't he have a pretty decent rushing game?
I'll have to I'll pull that up. I don't remember.
I actually got some stats right here. I didn't see LSU on here right there. Get off of that. Rushing, LSU 10 for 33. Nothing crazy. But yeah, definitely a guy. We talk about, I mentioned this to you guys. When Gio committed, you started watching tape on him. Obviously, the first person that you think of when looking at him on tape and how he plays is Sam Howell. Left-handed, can run, similar kind of build. But watching him on film and just his body language and his mechanics and this, that, and 30, he kind of reminds me of Russell Wilson a little bit, from the Seahawks. I won't say that, the team down the road.
You talking about the school down in Fuquay Arena, right?
No, yeah. I don't even.
You talking about the Wisconsin Badger, Russell Wilson?
Yeah, that one. The Rose Bowl, Russell Wilson. That one. Just that, I think, in terms of comparisons, if you keep it close to home, definitely Sam Howell. I think he's a little bit more athletic than Sam. I think he's a better runner than Sam. I think Sam's got him beat on the deep ball. But one thing about it, him rolling out, and being able to, when the pocket breaks down, you can either trust him to get you 10 and keep the chains moving, or you can trust him to, take a deep shot downfield. I think with Gio, he covers a lot of question marks that we had, and certainly instills a lot of confidence in the quarterback position going into week 1 against TCU for sure. Absolutely.
So Trevor has some fire questions here for us. What best case scenario for Gio Lopez? Granted, if he is the starter, we all think he's going to be a starter. I would think that he got paid pretty well to come here. There's a reason they went out and got him. Because Ryan Brown, is it Brownie?
Ryan Brown.
Yeah, Ron Brown, looking at, the spring game, it just wasn't it. It wasn't a great showing, and I walked away from that night saying, "Oh man, we're in trouble." But you signed Gio Lopez, and he performs like he did in the Sun Belt, in the ACC, and gets a full season. Best case scenario, Trevor, what does Gio become?
He becomes the Bill Belichick's guy, the one that everybody remembers Bill Belichick's first season, and the quarterback, and they say Gio Lopez. And I think we win some big games, and we win at least 8+ games, and that's best case scenario, if I had to say. And he protects the ball and doesn't turn it over.
Well, accolade wise, we were talking about that prior to the show.
Oh yeah. So we did a bold. You told me to make a bold prediction, and I mean, I think, dude, he's got all the. Of course, he's coming in late, so he's going to have to learn the playbook, and he doesn't have a lot of experience with the guys around him, but he's got a lot of experience on the O-line. I think it'll be the best O-line he's ever played behind. He's got some weapons at offense, and he's got the greatest coach of all time coaching them. So I think that my bold take here in best case is Gio could become an all ACC quarterback. I'm not going to say all ACC first team, but second, third team. I think he could be one of the, top guys in the ACC.
Troy, what about you? What's your hot take?
I hate to be the buzzkill, man, but I don't really kind of put expectations on guys. If I was to give a bold take for Gio, I'd love to see him get us to Charlotte, to be honest with you. We got kind of a tough schedule. That's a later episode, but I think
you think we have a tough schedule?
It's pretty decent. I mean, we got to we'll talk about that later on. I don't think it's a cakewalk by any means, but we'll see.
That's a hot take right there. If you think Carolina's got a tough schedule, I tell you that.
Yeah.
Hey, he's still hurt from last year. I'm a little gun-shy too, but I'm getting out of it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I've tempered expectations overall across the board, but we'll see. With Gio, man, I do think. How do I put this? Obviously, the potential's there. The potential to be great. That kind of, it's not really a one-man thing, He's got guys around him. Trevor, you said it. He's arguably got the best team and the best talent that he's ever had in his career. If I was to give a bold take for him, I could see first team. I could see first team all ACC, or second team.
If he's first team, we're in Charlotte.
That's what I'm saying. That's what my hope is.
Hey Tar Pit crew, thanks for hanging with us today. Quick shout out. Today's episode is powered by Untapped Sports Network. Big thanks to them for the support. If you like this episode, do us a favor. Like it, drop a comment, and share it with a friend. That kind of support goes a long way in keeping the podcast rolling. Make sure you're subscribed and following the Tar Pit podcast on whatever platform you're listening on right now. And don't forget to follow us on social. We're on X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search the Tar Pit podcast and you'll find us. Until next time, go Heels.